For centuries, people have described luminous spheres appearing during thunderstorms, glowing red, orange, yellow, white, even blue, hovering near the ground, slipping through windows, hissing like an angry tea kettle, and sometimes vanishing with a pop, or an explosion dramatic enough to make everyone nearby rethink every life decision they've ever made. This is ball lightning, rare, bizarre, and stubbornly mysterious. Britannica describes it as a rare aerial phenomenon, usually a luminous sphere several centimeters across, commonly associated with thunderstorms and cloud-to-ground lightning. It typically lasts only a few seconds before disappearing, sometimes silently, sometimes explosively. And yes, before you ask, this is not just old sailors, frightened farmers, and one guy named Trevor who definitely saw something weird once. The scientific community takes the reports seriously, precisely because enough witnesses, over enough time, have described eerily similar behavior. The legend of the glowing orb. Ball lightning lives in that uncomfortable zone between folklore and laboratory science, the place where truth sounds like a campfire story. Witnesses have described glowing spheres ranging from about 1 to 100 centimeters across, often moving independently of the wind. Some accounts say they float into buildings. Some say they pass through open windows. Some say they appear to explode with force. These reports are one reason the phenomenon has fascinated and frustrated scientists for generations. Think about how strange that is. A lightning bolt makes sense to us. It's violent, fast, and obvious. But a hovering luminous orb? That sounds less like meteorology and more like the weather downloaded a fantasy expansion pack. And yet, the descriptions are consistent enough to keep the mystery alive. Why science struggled with it. Here's the problem. Science loves repeatability. Ball lightning does not. It is rare, it is brief, it appears unexpectedly, and it does not politely schedule a press conference so physicists can set up tripods and calibration equipment. That's why ball lightning remained trapped in scientific limbo for so long. Too many reports to ignore, too little hard data to fully explain. You can't exactly tell the thunderstorm, "Excuse me, could you release the haunted plasma orb again? We forgot hit record." For decades, the central question was simple. Is ball lightning a real physical object, an optical illusion, or several different phenomena being mistaken for one thing? Even today, while the phenomenon is treated as real by many researchers, there is still no universally accepted model that explains every reported behavior. The breakthrough that changed everything. Then came one of the most important moments in this mystery. In 2014, physicists reported what the American Physical Society described as the first spectrum of ball lightning, a rare field observation tied to a real thunderstorm. The observed light contained emission lines from silicon, iron, and calcium, elements commonly found in soil. That mattered a lot. Because if the light from ball lightning includes material associated with the ground, that suggests at least some ball lightning events may begin when a lightning strike hits soil, vaporized material, and somehow creates a glowing, short-lived, drifting sphere. In plain English, one leading idea is that lightning smacks the earth so hard it cooks dirt into a luminous chemistry experiment. That may sound absurd until you remember lightning is basically the sky throwing industrial-grade electricity at the ground. Theories in the rabbit hole. Now we descend into the fun part, the theories. Theory 1. Vaporized silicon. This model suggests that when lightning strikes the ground, it can vaporize silica in soil. Chemical reactions then create hot, silicon-rich particles or vapor that glow as they oxidize in air, producing a floating fireball-like effect.
The 2014 spectral observation gave this idea a serious boost. Theory 2, microwave plasma bubble. Another family of models says ball lightning may be a plasma structure sustained briefly by trapped microwave radiation. Older electromagnetic models proposed a microwave field contained inside a plasma sphere. Later work explored similar plasma bubble ideas to explain why the object might stay coherent for a short time. Theory 3, more than one phenomenon. Some researchers suspect ball lightning may not be one thing at all. Different reports may describe different mechanisms that merely look similar: plasma events, combustion aerosols, optical effects, or other transient electrical phenomena grouped under one eerie name. And this is where the rabbit hole gets deep, but we keep our trail, because all these theories are trying to solve the same puzzle. How do you create a glowing, roughly spherical object that can persist for seconds, move unpredictably, and then vanish? That is not a small physics problem. That is a the atmosphere just freelanced problem. Why it feels supernatural. Ball lightning messes with us because it behaves like a contradiction. Lightning should be instantaneous. This lingers. Fire should rise and scatter. This can drift and hold shape. Storm energy should be chaotic. This sometimes appears almost deliberate. That combination, brightness, motion, silence, and sudden disappearance, is exactly why stories about ball lightning often sound supernatural. But mystery is not magic. It is usually just reality arriving before our explanation does. And that's an important distinction. Science does not become weak when it says we don't fully know yet. Science becomes honest. Ball lightning is one of those rare reminders that nature is still under no obligation to be fully understood on our schedule. What scientists can say right now. Here's the current grounded takeaway. Ball lightning is widely described as a rare luminous sphere associated with thunderstorms, often near the ground, usually lasting only seconds. Its reported features include varied colors, hissing sounds, unusual motion, and occasional explosive disappearance. Scientists have at least some instrumental evidence supporting that the phenomenon is not merely legend, including spectral observations linked to a real storm event. But despite multiple plausible models, chemical, plasma-based, and electromagnetic, there is still no universally accepted model that explains every reported behavior. So if you were hoping for the final answer, here it is. Ball lightning is real enough to study, rare enough to frustrate, and strange enough to remain one of the atmosphere's greatest unsolved performances. Somewhere tonight, a storm will cross a field, a rooftop, a river, a lonely highway. A normal lightning strike will come and go in a flash, but maybe, just maybe, nature will do something far stranger. A glowing sphere will appear, drift through the rain, and vanish before anyone can decide whether they witnessed weather or a secret. And that may be the most beautiful part of this story. Even in an age of satellites, sensors, and supercomputers, the sky still keeps a few riddles for itself. If you want more stories where science meets mystery, where the known world starts to flicker at the edges, subscribe and tell me in the comments, is ball lightning just rare physics or proof that nature still has tricks we're not ready for?